This is the Gita class, chapter 5, 10th sloka. First we'll offer the prayers. Okay. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjalasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. गीताशास्त्रमिदं पुण्यं यः पठेत् प्रयतः पुमान् विष्णोः पदमवाप्नोति भयशोकादिवर्जितः एकं शास्त्रं देवकीपुत्रगीतम् एको देवो देवकीपुत्र एव एको मन्त्रस्तस्य नामानि यानि कर्माप्येकं तस्य देवस्य सेवा ॐ श्रीकृष्णाय परमात्मने नमः। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Gita number chapter 5, Karma Sannyasa Yoga, and the 10th sloka. Brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam chektva karoti yah lipyate na sapapena padmapatramivambhasa. Vambhasa. ब्रह्मण्याधाय कर्माणि संगं त्यक्त्वा करोति यः लिप्यते न स पापेन पद्मपत्रमिवाम्भसा। ब्रह्मण्याधाय कर्माणि संगं त्यक्त्वा करोति यः लिप्यते न स पापेन पद्मपत्रमिवाम्भसा. Word to word meanings. Brahmani, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Adhaya, resigning. Karmani, all the works. Sangam, attachment. Tyaktva, giving up. Karoti, performs. Yaha, who. Lipyate, is affected. Na, never. Saha, he. Papena, by sin. Padmapatram, a lotus leaf. Iva, like. Ambasa, ambasa, by the water. Translation by the Srila Prabhupada. One who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action, as the lotus leaf is untouched by the water. Again, I'll repeat. One who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful reaction. Sinful action, as the lotus feet is untouched by the water. So here the keywords are the one who performs his duty, the karma basically. So nahi kasyashanamapi, no one can live without even doing a karma. Karma means the bodily actions, the gross bodily actions, as well as the subtle bodily actions. The mind always wanders. So thinking is also an action. So one who performs his duty, here the Krishna is explaining that the secret how to get out from the papa. So in turn, then when we don't have the papa, then we will get out from this cycle of birth and death. So basically here he says without attachment and surrendering the results to the Lord. So first of all, if you do any action thinking that I am just the instrument, I am doing the action, and I don't want to enjoy the results. That is one thing, one mindset. And also whatever the result comes in, so if we accept that whatever comes in the results, because the result will come, that is the law of the theory, law of the karma. And if you take the result as the prasada, Bhagavad prasada, that is nothing but surrendering the result unto the Lord. So because how you will surrender the result to the Lord? So basically you do your work with the full concentration, with your abilities, not expecting anything, without attachment to the desires, and then whatever the result comes in, take it like a prasad of the Supreme Lord. He is unaffected by the sinful action. So unaffected by the sinful action, then we'll be doing all the akarmas. That is nothing but not resulting the either papa. And here the Krishna is explaining like as a lotus leaf is untouched by the water. So the lotus, if you see that lotus leaf or lotus tree, lotus plant, that is in the muddy water with all the all the mud and all everything. But the leaf, the stem, if you see, the stem also not touched by the mudness or the unclear of the water, and the leaf or the flower is untouched by the water, untouched by the any contamination of the water, even the pure water or anything, it is untouched. So that's why he is giving the example like this. So here, so that is how Krishna is directing us to do each and every karma so that we can get out from this cycle of birth and death. Because the karma comes, there is a rule, there is a theory, it's like avidya kama karma. Because of the avidya, ajnana, because of that, I think I am not the soul, I am the body. That is the starting point of the avidya. The moment, this is called body consciousness. The moment I think that I am not the soul, I am the body, then what happens is that kama, desire will come. Desire means the soul's property, the soul's nature is Satchitatma, Satchitananda. That means Sat means eternal, the soul is eternal. Whereas if you see the body, body is temporary. It will fall, not like a soul. Chit. Chit means the full of knowledge. Knowingness is called Chit. That is the nature of the soul. Whereas the body is called Jada. Jada Prakriti. Body, the gross body or subtle body is like it doesn't know itself. If the Jivatma is not there, then the body is dead. So the only the knower is us, the Jivatma, the Atma. And the knowingness, the objects are the node, knowing, knower, no, not the knower, different from the knower. All objects are the knows, who knows. And then all those body, that is called, that is it. So I am thinking, because that avidya comes in, then even though I soul, because I think that the body, I want to be live forever, like the nature of the soul. And also chit, I want to know everything. And then thinking that I know this, I know that, then the ego comes in. Then after avidya, kama, and then karma. That is how the actions will start. I think that I am the body consciousness. Then I'll keep on working for what? For the ananda, unlimited ananda, which I am already, my nature itself is ananda. Because we fall into the body consciousness, that is where we are all striving to get the ananda. And in turn, the result is what? Misery only. You, for example, you think that we need money so that we can enjoy it. Then even if you work so hard, after working, what happens is the practical experience is we need to think whether the money is really giving us the happiness. Even if we think that the money is giving the happiness fully, at one point of time, either we will lose the money or the money will lose us and the body will fall down. That's a death comes, then the end of the chapter. So avidya, kama, and then karma. That is how the formula is. So basically, through knowing ourselves that we are not the body, we are the jivatma, we are the atma, then what happens is we have to get out from this cycle of birth and death, and we have to come out of this karma cycle. And jnanagni dagdha karmanam, jnanagni sarva karmani, jnanagni dagdha karmani. So in the 4th chapter, Krishna also says that the jnana, realizing that we are the soul, that will then that burns all the accumulated karmas, past, present, future, all the karmas will be burned just like that. Just like with one fire, little fire, the entire the cotton is burned. So like that it will be burnt. So in order to know ourselves that we are the soul, and we have to get out from the body consciousness, what we need to do is that chitta, the mind, the subtle body should be clean. So how it should be clean means the mind has the kama, the desire to enjoy. That desire lives in the mind, buddhi, indriyas, and all that. That will direct all the indriyas further to act it. So we have to, then we should avoid this desire for material happiness, and we have to control the desire. That is where the chitta, the mind, will be cleaned. And then with the clean mind, the buddhi, clean buddhi, shuddha buddhi, that's where we will reflect our true nature, and then we realize our the true nature of that soul, and then we will get out from this cycle of birth and death. That is a process. So for that, this sloka, Krishna is directing that, okay, now you cannot avoid the karmas, because from time memorial we are just passing through life after life. So we have accumulated karmas and we have to work. So with this idea, if we started doing that without the attachment, then there is a way for us, and then we really enjoy while working also. Because for example, if you don't expect, you don't get any tension or anything. All the pressure, stress and everything happens because of the expectation. So for example, the two persons, they did the business, and what happened is, like, one friend, the first person, he expected the profits to be 20%, and the next friend, he expected the profits should come like 30. And at the end of that result, and then the 25%, like let's say the company earned 25% of the profit, the first person will be happy because his expectation is 20% only. The second person is sad because his expectation is 30%. So that is how all this dvandva, material duality of the world is like the happiness and the distress comes based on the expectation of the result. If you don't have any expectation, right, little difficult to implement, but if you started implementing it, then we enjoy it, and then after that, that will lead the path to our self-realization. So the first the point basically, the purport, Prabhupada explains. So here the Brahmani means Krishna consciousness. So he explains that the material world is like a sum total of the modes, three modes of material nature: Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna, and technically called Pradhana. The Vedic hymns, Sarvam Hetad Brahma, Mandukya Upanishad 2, Tasmad Etad Brahma, Namarupam Annam Cha Jayate, Mundaka Upanishad 1.1.9. And in the Bhagavad Gita 14 chapter 3rd sloka, Mama Yorir Mahat Brahma, indicate that everything in the material world is a manifestation of the Brahman. So although the effects are differently manifested, they are non-different from the cause. That example is, if you see the gold ornaments, the gold, from the gold all the ornaments are made. So when you see the ornament, when you touch the ornament, when you see each and every particle of the ornament, it's all gold. There is nothing other than the gold. The ornament is like the different manifestation of the gold. That is how this world is. So we are seeing now the gunas, three gunas, and from the three gunas, which because the Panchikrita, basically the five Panchamahabhutas came, and Panchamahabhutas, the Panchikarana of the Mahabhutas, this world is manifested. We can see like that with our indriyas. So if you see the body, our body is nothing but indriyas, karmendriyas and jnanendriyas. And then we perceive the world, and within this body is made up of the Panchabhutas, and the outside world is made up of the Panchabhutas. The man's Manobuddhi Chitanga subtle body is also the Panchabhutas. Everything is Panchabhutas. So Gunan Guneshu Vartante. Basically it's a show of the three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, Tama gunas. So, and similarly the another example is like the earth and then the pots. So all the parts, earthly parts, they're all coming from the earth. And what we see is only the earth. And all the parts are like the names and forms. So that is how this world is manifested. That's why it's like it's all Brahman only. You cannot see the Brahman because our mind is contaminated, and then we are seeing the world through the contaminated mind. which in turn sees all the names and forms, not the Brahma. Brahma means like the Satchitananda. And then Asti Bhati Priyam. They will also say in a different word. Asti means eternal, it's there. Asti Bhati and then Priyam. Bhati means like with the knowingness. And then Priyam means Ananda, that's the only thing. And then Nama Rupas are like the middle word. So, and here Brahmani means Brahman, Paramatma or Bhagavan, like the three words basically, it's all pointing the same tattva. So that's called Vadanti Tattva Tattvedas Tattvam Yajnanam Avyayam Advayam Yajnanam Advayam Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Shabde. That is in the Bhagavatam, first canto, second chapter and 11th sloka. Sukha Brahma says like that. Learned transcendentalist who knows the absolute truth called the non-dual substance Brahman, Paramatma or Bhagavan. So in the Ishopanishad also it is said that everything is related to the Supreme Brahman Krishna, and thus everything belongs to him only. One who knows perfectly well that everything belongs to Krishna and that he is the proprietor of everything, and that therefore everything is engaged in the service of the Lord, naturally has nothing to do with the results of his activities, whether virtuous or sinful, because everything is Krishna. So we are it's basically we are the instrument of the Bhagavan. If we keeping that mind, if you keep on doing the work, then whether it's a good or bad, the result, it won't affect you. It won't bond the soul, the Atman, us basically. So even one's material body, gift of the Lord, for carrying out a particular type of action can be engaged in the Krishna consciousness. Even one's material body, because of it's all the gift of the Krishna. And then we got the body. Then this can be engaged in the Krishna consciousness. Then it is beyond the contamination, exactly as the lotus says, the water is not wet. The Lord says, yeah. So when we serve all the serve all the indriyas and everything in the service of the Lord, when we put all these things in action in the service of the Lord, that is nothing but bhakti. And in the Gita also, 3rd chapter, 30th sloka, Krishna says like, my sarvani karmani sanyasya, resign all works unto me. So this is what bhakti means. Hrishikena Hrishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchate. All the indriyas should be engaged in the service of the Lord. Lord of the indriyas is Hrishikesha. And also Uttama Bhakti, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains that Anya Vilashita Sunyam Jnana Karma Anavrutam Anukulena Krishna. Basically, Anya Vilashita Sunyam Jnana Karma Anavrutam. Basically, there should not be any desire, tinge of material desire for doing the seva to the Bhagavan Krishna, and that is called the Uttama Bhakti. Slowly we will get there. So basically the conclusion is, if a person without the Krishna consciousness, the person without a Krishna consciousness acts in the bodily consciousness, and that bounds in the karmas, good and bad. The person with the Krishna consciousness, because he acts for the service of the Bhagavan, then he won't be affected by the results of that karma. So basically, here Papena Padmapatra Vivambasa. So Papa, I'll just little explain on that. Papa means that in the Bhagavad Gita itself, Krishna explains that what is Papa. Kamesha, Krodesha, Rajoguna Samudbhava, Mahashana, Mahapapma, he says. So Mahapapa is like what? The Kama. Kama means desire. And because of the desire is the main, because that will, what is nothing but Papa or the Punya. Punya means like, the freedom, the happiness gives. And the Papa is like the other way, the other side effect, it binds. So, for example, you want to go to, like, let's say you want to go out for pravachanam. Swamiji came and you want to go out, and then you all prepared it. and then you want to go, you are ready to close the door, suddenly some relative comes in, and then you have to engage him. So and then because of that you miss the provision. That is nothing but pap, the result of pap. And the result of the punya is, you don't know, you want to go to the party, you're going there, but somehow or other some friend comes in and is like, hey, no, let's go to this provision, and then you end up there. That is called punya. So basically the punya will relieve bondage from the cycle, and then the papa will kind of like creating more and more bondages. So this material desire keeps on binding us to this material world. So basically that is how the rajoguna. So that's why we have to be in the sattva first, without expectation of results. Keep on doing everything. Everything should be in the sattva guna. The eating habit should be in the sattva, so that the body will be healthy and then quite fit, so that we can do more devotional service, acquire jnana and all that, which in turn the mind will be cleaned. And once the cleaned mind, the buddhi, the reflection happens in the soul, and then we realize our true nature. So that is what. And then also that is called papa myth. And then the sangam, basically sangam, he says like sangam chaktva karotiya. In this one says attachment, remove the attachment. So how the attachment he explains in the second chapter. In the sthita prajna qualities he says like dhyayato vishayam punsaha sangat seshopajayate. Dhyayato vishayam punsa, the pumsa, when the person dhyayato vishayam, when the vishaya means news, all the vishayas, all the news acquired by the person through all the indriyas, jnana indriyas, the hearing, the worldly affairs, and then seeing the worldly stuff. So all that one, vishayan, dhyayata vishayam pumsaha sangat seshopayat. When a person dwells on the thoughts, that is how, for example, in the society, something is, they will say like, okay, some nice car came, that's so nice features and everything, and the person keeps on thinking about that particular that thing, and then slowly the desire, the sangam means the attachment. Sangam. Jayata Vishampunsa Sangat Sechopajayate. When the person is thinking about those Vishayas over and over and over and again, that is how the attachment, Sangam Chiktva Karotiya. So, no. Jayata Vishampunsa Sangam Chiktva Jayata Vishampunsa Sangat Sechopajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha. The desire develops based on the whatever the news, whatever the jayata vishayas, whatever the outside world, whatever the vishayas or the person is keep on thinking. That is how the attachment comes in, sangam, and with that the desire to acquire that particular stuff will develop. So the best thing is, that is why Krishna always says, think of me. When you think of the worldly affairs, the sangam, the attachment comes, develops, and in turn the desire, and in turn the desires from kama, the arishad vargas, 6, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, madam, ascharyas. Kama is the starting point. When the kama fulfills, lobha will come, third one. When the kama doesn't fulfill, the anger will come. That is how the chain of actions, the chain of samsara is there. So basically the mind should be, the goal is man buddhi should be clean, and so that the quiet mind, the clean buddhi, that is where the real knowledge develops, and then we realize ourselves, and that removes the cycle of birth and death. Okay, Jara, the goal of the man, the human man should be Jara Marana Mokshaya Mamashitya Tantye Te Brahma Tadvid Kusram Adhyatmam Karmachakilam. The goal should be Jara Marana Mokshaya. Mokshaya, liberation from the old age and death. Why they were given is everything is difficult: birth, death, old age, and disease. These are all the real problems. We think that the money is a problem for us, or the small house is a problem. We need a big house, the solution. We need to earn more money and all that. But no, the Krishna says in the Gita the main four problems are birth, death, old age, and disease. Those are the main problems of the life. And samsara means a cycle of birth and death. So that is how. And also, so here the concept is, the Krishna says, don't attach to the result, don't attach to the desire, and then detach from it. So as long as the mind is there, it has to attach to something. That is why Krishna says in the 18th chapter, Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Leave everything, Mamekam Sharanam Vraja, and attach to me only. So long as the mind is there, the mind should attach to something. So that's why mind should be attached to the scriptures, the Bhagavan, Krishna, and then the goal should be, the desire should be to get out from this cycle of birth and death, and the goal is to reach Krishna. So if we keep that in mind, then slowly, one by one, we will get it. So this is the basically summary of the sloka. And the fun part is, like in the Gita, each and every sloka, sloka itself is like, it's like full. It's not like, it's not incomplete. It's not complete basically. It is always full. Each sloka will explain everything. So what is the problem, how we are doing it, and what is the solution. So here in the summary, the Brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam chitva karoti yaha lipyatena sapapena padmapatra vivambasa. Basically the summary is, because we were given body, because of the prarabdhas, we were in the conditioned life, and with the body we have to do work. The vasanas will force us to work whether we like it or not. So what we have to do is, like, we have to keep on continue work, doing work, the good work, and then results, surrender the results to the Bhagavan. Like an example is lotus leaf, so that we won't be affected by the sinful action, and then we will be given the opportunity, and eventually we will realize our true nature. That is how the summary of this. What else? So that is the gist of this sloka, and then okay, we can think about more and more things, and then we can discuss more in the next slokas. I think we covered everything. Okay. Hare Krishna.